which camera exposure mode should you use? Is full manual better than aperture or shutter priority? Is program mode useless? Hey friends, Gary here. Welcome to today's quick chat video. Today I want to share my thoughts and my opinions regarding camera exposure mode. Many photography experts will tell you to only shoot in full manual, but I think that is not 100% correct. While shooting in full manual will make you learn more about the exposure triangle, about shutter speed, about aperture, ISO, and how they react to the overall exposure of an image, I think each of the other modes does have their own sort of strengths and benefits, so we should explore them. This is intended more towards beginner. If you are just starting photography, maybe you are confused about what all of this means, then I think this is the right video for you. But if you are an expert, already a seasoned photographer, I hope that you can still also learn from this video, and please also share your thoughts, your tips, your opinions down in the comment down below so we can all learn together. That's the mission of this quick chat video. First, let's begin by talking about aperture priority. Sometimes it's called A, sometimes it's called AV, depending on the camera manufacturers. In aperture priority mode, you will have total control of the aperture of the lens of your camera. And that can mean a few things. Larger aperture, usually with lower number, will give you more background blur and at the same time more light entering into the center of your camera, meaning that you can have higher shutter speed or lower ISO. And knowing that, smaller aperture will mean less light entering into the sensor and also less background blur. Everything will start to become more focused, and that means slower shutter speed or maybe even higher ISO. From my experience, aperture priority is actually my most used camera exposure mode. I think this is the best for non-moving subjects, for example, portraits, sceneries, landscape, and also everyday photography, food photography, product photography, and even travel photography, as long as your subject is not moving too much and you don't really need absolute control of the shutter speed. Aperture priority is not the best when it comes to freezing action or if you want to intentionally create some movement effect on your photo. Next, shutter priority. Sometimes it's called S, sometimes it's called TV, depending on your camera manufacturers. In shutter priority, you will have absolute control of the shutter speed of your camera, and that means the opening and closing mechanism of the shutter on your camera when you are taking a photo. And that means a few things. Faster shutter speed means less movement blur. Everything will look tack sharp and you will be able to freeze movements. But with faster shutter speed, of course, you will have less light hitting your sensor because the time of the opening and the closing of the shutter is shorter, and that could lead to the need to increase your ISO or to open up your aperture. Slower shutter speed will let in more light because the shutter will keep open for longer time, but that can risk some movement blur inside of your photo, especially if you have moving objects, and maybe with slower shutter speed you will have to close down the aperture a little bit or reduce the ISO to compensate for the brighter image. So when to use shutter priority? For me personally, It's when I'm doing fast action photography, when the subject is moving a lot. For example, wildlife photography, animal photography, and also sports photography, street photography, where the actions are happening real time on the street. You want to be able to freeze moments. I will usually switch to S or shutter priority. Also, if you want to do the opposite, you don't want to freeze movement, but you want to embrace some movement blurs on your photo. Maybe it's waterfall photography or something involving water, or very long exposure photo where you will have the clouds on the sky being blurred, things like that. So yeah, total absolute control of shutter, and the possibilities are endless. Next, full manual. Usually it will be called M on the mode dial, and as the name implies, this is the camera exposure mode where you will have total control of everything, of the shutter speed, of the aperture, and if you are not in auto ISO, also the ISO as well is in your control. Now this is the best mode for me personally to learn more about the exposure triangle, how they relate to each other, the shutter speed, the aperture, and the ISO. But these days, I treat full manual exclusively almost like an advanced shutter priority mode, where I want to control the shutter speed first. I want to make sure that I can freeze movement, or the other way around. I want to create intentional movement blur, but I want to make sure that the camera won't select aperture values that are less than ideal. For example, I'm doing medium shutter speed, 500 or maybe 1000, but then the camera will select a small aperture like f22 where the diffraction starts to happen and you'll get soft photos. And yeah, I don't want that, so usually I will switch to full manual and make sure that both my shutter and my aperture are on ideal values. So for me, most of the time, full manual and shutter priority are almost interchangeable. However, usually when I'm shooting in full manual is when I have more time to slow down to make sure that everything is correct, and I want to make sure that every aspect of the camera setting is ideal. Usually it's landscape photography, and sometimes it's street photography as well. When I want more consistency out of my camera, that's when I will switch to full manual. Now here's the thing, shooting in full manual won't make you into a better photographer. Shooting in full manual won't yield better photos. No, it's just a myth. It's just another mode like shutter priority or aperture priority, but this time you have full control of everything. I think the benefit of shooting in full manual is just full consistency, because you're able to lock in all of the settings and be able to select all the individual aspects of the camera exposure yourself. And also the second benefit is that it's a good camera exposure mode that you can use to practice photography. Maybe shoot in full manual for a few weeks or a few months, and you will start to have a better understanding of the relationship between shutter speed, ISO, and aperture, and that can definitely make you a better photographer. But just shooting full manual all of the time, no, it's not gonna produce better result. This is a misunderstanding. It's just a mode like everything else. Last but not least, program mode, or P on your mode dial. This is the mode where the camera controls everything: your shutter speed, your aperture, and potentially also your ISO if you are on auto ISO on your camera. To be honest with you, I never really used program mode intentionally. I just don't like the idea that the camera controls everything. I like to be able to at least control one of the settings, either the shutter speed or the aperture, when I'm shooting with my camera. However, I can see the benefit of shooting in program modes, especially for people who don't want to fuss around with camera settings. Maybe you just want to relax and have fun, and photography is just a way for you to document your experience. So program mode can make a lot of sense. Maybe the camera will figure out the wrong exposure, or maybe it won't get it right, but at least in program modes you can still do exposure compensation. If it's too bright or if it's too dark, you can still override a little bit of the camera setting. That's very understandable, but again, for me personally, I like the idea to be able to at least control one of the exposure triangle settings. To recap, aperture priority for non-moving subjects, shutter priority for moving subjects, or if you want to intentionally create movement on your photo, full manual when you have time to slow down and pick the right settings individually, or if you just want better consistency with your camera. Program mode if you don't want to fuss around with camera settings but you still want the ability to override the exposure settings on your camera. Hopefully this makes sense. And that wraps up today's video. So those are all of my thoughts, my opinions about camera exposure modes. Hopefully this video has been helpful, interesting, entertaining, and also inspiring. But enough about me. What about you? What is your favorite camera exposure mode and why do you use it often? Let's have a little bit of discussion down in the comment down below so we can learn from each other. I want this video to be a two-way communication, a chance not only for you but also for me to learn. So yeah, let's learn from one another. But yeah, anyway, don't forget to support my channel by liking this video, sharing this video, subscribing to my channel down below. If you want to support my work even further, consider joining my Patreon membership for some exclusive benefits. Check out my latest travel photography video course called Simplifying Travel Photography. Use the affiliate links down below or use the super thanks button to make a small donation to my channel. Thank you very much and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.